right, it is time for Friday Reads. Woohoo! And the return of the intro cards. Yay! I don't think I've used them since I've come back, so I found them, and so they are back as well. Hey everyone, it is Shannon, and I'm super excited to be here today and to share with you a Friday Reads video. In my Friday Reads video, I share the books that I finished, the books that I started, and anything interesting about books that I'm carrying over week to week, and I do have a little bit of everything this week, so that is super exciting. And I'm going to start things off by doing a bit of a Summer Fling update. The Summer Fling is a month-long readathon that is dedicated to reading romance. There is a 12, let's do math, 3 by 4 is 12. There is 12 prompts that you can follow. You do not have to follow them, but you can. And I am having so much fun already. I have finished 2 titles and I'm on to my 3rd, and I have been participating in the scavenger hunt on Instagram. That has been so much fun. Elizabeth from Lizzie Faye Loves Books put together a 31-day prompt for a scavenger hunt for covers, and it's funny because mostly I have gone digital for this. I don't have a lot of physical romances, and I have actually even used a lot of books that I haven't read yet, which I feel a little bit odd about, but I think it's about embracing and enjoying the cover art, and I do always indicate if I haven't read the book in the description, but they're mostly from now, actually, I think they've mostly been from my Kindle TBR, so my owned unread Kindle books. Who knows, maybe it'll make a TBR for the future for something. I am not sure. So in terms of the Summer Fling, I actually have my challenge within the challenge to myself is to read romance every day, because romance is a genre that I love, but I haven't been reading it as much lately. So I thought I'd use Summer Fling as an opportunity to read romance every day. I forgot to say the Summer Fling is hosted by Sarah from Steeped in Books, plus a whole whack ton of co-hosts, and I will leave information to Sarah's video down below, which has everyone and anyone I mentioned and any books I mentioned and any specifics I mentioned. I always link down below, so if you're looking for specifics, that's where they are. So okay, so Summer Fling. So my challenge to myself was to read romance every day, and I'm happy to report that I have done that, and I created a spread in my reading journal that is a heart a day. So if you are counting and thinking about the day, you will know that I pre-filmed this, so whoops. That's okay. Just by one day, it just makes it easier it takes the pressure off. Anyway, so I have read romance every day, so I've colored in heart for each day, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I even wrote the total pages on the side, so most days I've been reading from 2 different books, one from my Summer Fling TBR, and then I'm also rereading the Twilight Saga. So yeah, so I didn't know that I was going to do this, so it ends up being a little messy, but it still happens, and I try and post it on Instagram. I think I forgot one day, but generally I post it on Instagram. So that has been really great, and I've generally been reading, well, it depends. Sort of, well, yeah, up to, I don't know, 75, 94, 280, 90, and 161. So who knows what the average of that is. It's probably like the actual average is around 100, but the numeric average probably is a bit higher because one of those days was 280. So anyway, doesn't matter. Let's take a look at the titles that I have read for the Summer Fling. The first one I read was A Vikings Redemption by Michelle Willingham. This is a prequel short story for the Sons of Sigurd series. So it's a historical romance set in the Viking age, and it is actually timed around very key events in the first book of that series, which I read earlier this year. It is a 5-book historical romance, Viking romance, 5-book series called The Sons of Sigurd, and it has different authors for each of the different books, which is interesting. But the first one's Michelle Willingham, and she's one of my favorite authors. I think she is my favorite romance author, and she did this prequel short story. I really enjoyed it. I am easing in and going for the win, so I'm going with the shortest titles on my TBR first. So this was 40 pages. It was released by Harlequin as a sort of page chapter a day type of thing, and so that is what I read for the first one. I really enjoyed it. It follows a man and a woman, and the guy is comes to sort of the family that is like the central family for the series, and he's coming to seek some additional training to because he wants to seek vengeance on his family who were killed. And the woman is someone who wants to also learn how to fight, but she's sort of sweet on someone who doesn't like her. So she starts to train with a guy who came down from training, and things progress from there. I loved it. It was great. I love Viking romances, and it was really nice. And it was really nice to get a win right away. I think I finished it on the first day of the month, so I was like, yeah. Next up, I have another big win. Magnolia Mystic by Alyssa Kessler. This is the first book in the Sentinels of Savannah series, and it is an urban fantasy series with immortal pirates. Yes. So it's current day set, but it's got 200-year-old immortal pirates. And I loved it so much. I loved it so much. It's a shorter work. It's about 100 pages. The other books in the series are longer. They're all 300 pages. I came across this because the fourth book in the series came out this year. And so I noticed that. And then I went back and saw the first title was only 100 pages. I was like, sign me up. So I really enjoyed this. There was great chemistry between the two leads. The guy is the immortal pirate, and the woman in the story is she says she has the sight. So I don't know if she considers herself psychic. She does also read tarot. You do not need psychic abilities to read tarot. You can learn to read the tarot. I read tarot. I've read the tarot for years. I was impressed. There was really good depiction of the tarot in this. They don't, the sort of one thing that sort of gets shown in like all media with tarot, like all media, like all like movies, TV, books, like usually the tarot represents, so we can show this and then this happens. And it's just like, someone who reads tarot, it's really frustrating. Didn't go there. But the depiction of the cards were really good. The chemistry between the two leads was great. And it had one of my favorite things is that the conflict is actually more external to the couple. So mostly their relationship, like they're actually interested in each other. So the tension around things is not really around them. There's a greater conflict. So I might do an individual review on this. Let me know if you would find that interesting. I'm trying to think of the different kinds of, like, because I like doing individual reviews. I know this book is only 100 pages, but I really enjoyed it, and I definitely will continue the series, so that is a possibility. So I really enjoyed it. It was so much fun. It is spicy, for sure, yeah, so that was a great start. And now I'm on to my next pick, which is Let It Shine by Alyssa Cole. I only started this last night, so I'm only 2 chapters in. This features, eventually, I imagine, I haven't got there yet, but it looks like it's going to be that the couple, it's an interracial romance. It's set in the 60s. She is black, and she's she's very much someone who has followed the rules and is starting to push the edge of that, and it looks like in terms of activism from what I've gathered so far, and the guy in it is I think he's a fighter of some kind. I'm not sure if he's a boxer, and he's Jewish, and they were childhood friends even though they weren't supposed to be friends. So I am actually really enjoying this so far. It's pretty serious given the subject matter and the tension and the time, so I'm enjoying it, but it's not so much of an enjoy because there's so much struggle, but I am enjoying it, and I like the characters, so I'm very curious to see where it goes from here. It's also my first Alyssa Cole, so that's also very exciting. I'll probably finish it this weekend. We shall see how things go. And then I am also reading, what else do I got on the go? As I mentioned, I think I'm also reading the Twilight Saga again, so I'm reading it backwards with Olivia from Olivia's Catastrophe, and she recently did put up her video of Eclipse, and I can't wait to watch it. So I decided to speed up my backwards reread though, because I fell to the hype. I can't believe it, but I did. I fell to the hype, and I wasn't going to read Midnight Sun, but now I want to read Midnight Sun. So I'm going to read Midnight Sun. It arrived yesterday, Tuesday. It arrived this week. Anyway, so I finished my reread of New Moon. It is my favorite of the series. It continues to be my favorite. I flagged off some of the reasons. They're kind of spoilery if you haven't read the series, so maybe I'll add them to my Goodreads review. I don't know. If you're curious about what it is, for me, I love the friendship that's in this one. I'm not a huge fan of the romance. as it progresses in this series. And I'm not even that much of a fan of the character of Edward, which is what Midnight Sun, it's from his perspective, so I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm just FOMOing. I can't believe it. But the Twilight Saga was really a turning point for me. It did get me back into reading. I'm more like the films than the books. I had a book to film. I had a Twilight podcast that I co-hosted with my friend Marina, so I know I know the movies very well, and I know the books quite well, and so it's just kind of nice to see all the Twilight people come out of the woodwork, especially because for me, when I was so into that, I was into it through the film, and I was much more involved in film. So now it's interesting to see the people I know in the book world be excited about it as well. So upcoming, I definitely will be rereading Twilight and then Midnight Sun, and I'm hoping to finish by Wednesday night because Nicole from Who Picked This Book is doing a live show. Her and Jen are going to talk about Midnight Sun, so I'm really curious, and I don't get that pulled into FOMO, like that pulled into even new releases, but this year I have been a little bit more, so I don't know what's going on. But in terms of like, it's just one of those things I'm like, yeah, I want to know. I just do. I want to know. So I'm sure a lot of people have already finished it by this point. I probably will read it mostly over the weekend. So I got to finish up Twilight before then. So that'll be like before Saturday. So we'll see how that goes. In terms of romance reading, after I finish Let It Shine, I am going to continue reading the shortest works first. And so for me, I'm probably going to go to one of my physical books, either King in Love by Barbara Cartland, and I didn't put this on my TBR, but it's the +1 Agreement by Charlote Phillips, and this is a Mills and Boon. It's actual Mills and Boon edition, and these are both really short. Like this one is 147 pages, and this one is, it's almost 200 pages, 187 pages. So one of these will be the next one. Let me know if you have an opinion, A King in Love or the +1 Agreement. This, I imagine, given the title, is a fake dating trope, which I don't... A lot of people really like that. I don't feel strongly about it one way or the other. Maybe I will. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about tropes. Like if I'm drawn to certain ones, should I pay attention? Is that helpful? Do you find it, like, do you know the tropes that work for you and do you seek them out? I don't think I do that because I'm not even aware of them. Or maybe I do it without even realizing. I don't know. Anyway, some other stuff that I am reading. I did unwrap 2 of my books. I didn't do it on video. I just was having a grumpy day at some point, and I was looking for a particular book that was part of my wrapped book. So I just unwrapped a couple. I feel like I'm cheating when I do that. Anyway, I did find the book that I wanted, and I have now started it, and that is The Outsider or The Stranger by Albert Camus. And wow, this is so good. I've only read 1 chapter, and I'm like, wow. Like, it is heavy, though. But it's really good. I saw a biopic, or I don't know I think it was a biopic, but I saw it at a documentary film festival about Albert Camus, so I've been interested in him since then. And this is one of the big works. I think I did read something by him in high school. That's one of the big sort of existential books. I can't remember what it was, though. It was a long time ago now. Anyway, so I'm enjoying this. So this is much heavier reading. So I'm trying to do like a chapter a day, and it looks like it has about 12 chapters. Very good. Let me know, have you read it? Did you enjoy it? And then also because I was just working through, I don't remember. Anyway, so I also unwrapped The Misanthrope and Other Plays by, I think it's Molière. And so these are both translated from the French, I believe. I think this is translated from the French, pretty sure. What does it say? Translation from the French by Joseph Laredo. So that one, let's see if this has the translator in it too. This Penguin Classic is old. Translated and with an introduction by John Wood. So this was first published in 1959. Of course, the work is much, 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 much earlier. This appears to be an edition from the 80s, though. So I've only read the first act of The Misanthrope, and I'm hoping to read all of the plays here this month, all of the plays in this book this month. And they are, let's take a look, The Misanthrope, The Sicilian or Love the Painter, Tartuffe, I don't know if it's Tartuffe or Tartuffe, or The Imposter, A Doctor in Spite of Himself, and The Imaginary Invalid. Wow. So, and this has been interesting. The Misanthrope has been interesting because I believe it's a comedy, and I gotta say, comedy is not my strong suit. And it's acknowledged, the Misanthrope is acknowledged as a masterpiece. Oh, I don't want to read. But so far it looks like, because I did a little character card, so look away if you don't want spoilers for the characters. But it looks like there's, the main character is in love with one woman, someone else is also in love with her, the main guy has one friend, and then everyone else is associated with her. That's horrible. That was probably very unhelpful. It was actually really hard to do. I usually do the character cards for Shakespeare, and they're much more, especially when there's lots of families. Anyway, so I don't really know what this is about. I've read the first act twice, and once I read it aloud, at least partially aloud, and when I read it aloud, I understood it a bit more. There is a lot of back and forth, and I think there's a lot of subtext text that I'm completely missing, so I'm not sure. I will continue reading it. I hope to finish that one by at least next week and then move on to the next play, which is I think it's Tartuffe? Or no, the Sicilian. So yeah, so let me know. Have you read The Misanthrope? I don't know. So this is a bit of a wacky combination of books this week, but it actually has been a really good reading week. I've mostly been reading romance, which has been the plan, but I'm glad I have some other works in there as well. I do like to have a combination of things. It's definitely something that works for me. And so yeah, so hopefully by next week I'll have finished The Misanthrope, Twilight, and Midnight Sun, and Let It Shine, and start one of these tiny romances. So contemporary or historical. Who will know? Well, I guess Let It Shine is historical, so maybe I should read the contemporary and see if I dig this whole fake dating thing. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you are reading this weekend. And let me know, are you going to read Midnight Sun? I didn't think I was gonna, but Hype Train got me. Got hyped. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Oh, how do I center that?